We always get a very energetic but distracted Stugotz this week because it's Masters Week, and he comes in doing finger guns and saying, can you feel it, Dan? But we can get and milk some good material out of that because his energy, his just general caring about sports is larger this week than it usually is. And so he asked coming in today, and I asked Juju to put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, did Rick Pitino immediately emerge from his coffin this morning and have his agent call Kentucky at Le Batard Show? Because it is rare what happened overnight, something that no one saw coming.
Well, I did. I mean, I tried to tell you back in February. You weren't listening to me. I told you, listen, Dan, you have no idea what's going on in the Bluegrass State. Kentucky fans never happy with Calipari. Tried to tell you.
Okay, what you tried to tell me is that they were going to fire him. What you did not tell me is that he's got a billionaire friend in Arkansas who would make him the Arkansas coach for 5 years because he's the head of the Tyson food chain, and Calipari out of nowhere, goes from Kentucky to Arkansas and avoids whatever it is that was coming his way at Kentucky. And if you're Calipari, like Nick Saban in Alabama, I do understand how you'd get tired of what those people's expectations are. And you're like, oh, you don't like me here? All right, I'll take it someplace else where they will like that. I'll always make my team top 20 and not expect it to be number one. What was that moaning sound you made, Bill?
Well, this is a classic I'm breaking up with you before you break up with me situation. You know, everybody knew that was ending. Stugotz tried to tell us. He tried to tell us. No one wanted to listen, and then it started playing out the way it played out, and he was the one. He was the breaker-upper, not the breaker-uppy.
Okay, but 5 years from your billionaire friend who's a booster at Arkansas means that you're breaking up and ending up in a better position for yourself where you're going to be more appreciated in the relationship.
You don't break up with someone to date an ugly person. Come on, get out of here. That's crazy.
Unless you have somewhere, somewhere better to go, Dan. Everyone knows that.
That's why it's called break up, not break down, Dan.
It is a step down, though. Is it not? In jobs?
Yes. But maybe it won't be because he's there and he makes the matter by himself. I will say, though, as it regards Calipari and the idea that a Tyson Foods billionaire can just buy himself a Calipari, I do embrace the modern age of college sports where we're going to dispense with any of the nonsense and just say, yep, a billionaire booster can just go buy Calipari. And all of a sudden make Arkansas matter more than it has mattered since Nolan Richardson in basketball.
Who?
When's the last time?
Nolan Richardson. Yeah, they won a championship. They almost went back-to-back. Scotty Thurman, Corliss Williamson. It was a great team.
Yes, Jeremy doesn't have any idea who Nolan Richardson is.
Sorry, he's 82.
Why would he, Roy? Why
you were so offended.
Why would
he's young. He's young. He's very young. Yeah. He doesn't know.
But
learn your history.
But it has Arkansas.
Learn your history.
You're going to have to forgive me on not knowing the history here. I don't know if Arkansas has had any kind of sincere relevance since Nolan Richardson.
They had Musselman.
Off the top of my head, isn't he at USC now?
Yes.
Off the top of my head, though, I do not think of them. I think they just bought their way into the game. This is the way you can do it in the modern age. Even if Calipari is falling behind, even if Calipari is not perfectly suited for the NIL era, even though Kentucky and one-and-dones came undone this year and for the last couple of years because he has not been dominating the sport, you buy yourself a Calipari, you've bought yourself immediately into the relevance game. To me, the contract, I don't know how much he's being paid over 5 years, but you get on the front end of that contract, you're getting 5 years worth in the first year because of what he does for your program in immediate ticket sales just by creating hope around what you're doing.
Under Musselman, Arkansas went to back-to-back Elite Eights. So they had a run, and then Musselman had a bad year this year, and he got let go, and now he's at USC. This is going to be interesting. Calipari, Dan, everything you said is right about Calipari, but he made 4 Final Fours with Kentucky, hasn't made one in, I think, 8 or 9 years. So, I mean, how good of a coach is he? Honestly, because he has number 1 draft picks all over. His roster is littered with number 1 picks, lottery picks, and he hasn't been able to get to Final Fours.
I know, but most coaches who have great success do so because they have great players. You're really going to sit here and say how good of a coach is Calipari? You feel comfortable doing that? Like, if you're comfortable doing that, then who's actually a good coach, Stugotz? Like, go ahead and name all the guys that you have making magic out of nothing, out of having no players. That, yeah, you have to have the.
Well, he's a great recruiter. I'm not saying that he's not.
Okay, but that is enough. What the Tyson Foods billionaire is buying is someone who's a great recruiter. He's had more trouble the last couple of years than others have because it's a new finance age. Like, I do wonder, Nick Saban just left Stugotz, and the sport caught up to him. Like, that's not up for dispute. The fact that he was still at the top is a tribute to him, but the sport caught up to him because there were a different way of doing business that can be hard for an older coach. When Nick Saban is telling you that his wife is saying to him, why are we still doing this when all the player cares about is what's my playing time and what's my money? That's all I care about. There's not a third place. I don't want to see the library. I don't want you to tell me how you're going to make me a better man. What I care about is my playing time and my money. If you strip it down, Stugotz, and give the players freedom, options, money, and no limits, it's going to be about greed and money. It's going to be about how do I best get, according to a 17-year-old's sensibilities, the things that I want. And a 17-year-old is thinking about playing time, money, and toys.
Right. And getting to the NBA, right? Cal's a good, he's a good coach in that regard. Yes.
I mean, he can say that. Nick Saban can say that. And I just don't, like, what are you going to criticize about Calipari's coaching? Go ahead, give me the details.
Well, I'm just saying, hasn't been to a Final Four. With all that talent, he gets the talent to his school, but he hasn't been to a Final Four in 8 years. That's it with all that talent. That's what I'm criticizing. That's it. Yes. Yep.
So that's it.
Get to the Final Four.
Got a point.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, no, sure, get to the Final Four. It's hard to get to the Final Four, but sure. Don't lose. Okay. What makes
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, don't lose one game and one game samples. Okay.
Well, no, for 10 straight seasons.
I think
last time he was there was
winning is kind of the
2015.
point,
Yeah, they're paying him $8.5 million to win.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to replace Calipari at Kentucky? Because I'm thinking Pitino, Billy Donovan, Coach K, or Dawn Staley. Ooh, 109-3 her last 3 seasons with a national championship.